Good morning, beautiful, legendary woman. If you're watching this podcast, hello. I'm going to dive straight into it because I was thinking about what I'm moving through, and I was going to share some personal things that are happening. And I was reading this amazing post this morning. I'll see if I can find a few lines. And it's basically about, um, I can hear my toddler pooing in the toilet, just so you want to know. So her name is Namaste Moa. She's amazing on Facebook. Go and follow her if you haven't already. The feminine escape plan. My modern women are fleeing marriage and don't even know it. A wife leaves her husband and the world says, "You go, girl." A husband leaves his wife and the world says, "How dare he?" A woman talks about outgrowing her marriage and it's called evolution. A man does the same and it's called betrayal. This isn't wisdom, it's programming. It's time to expose something that has been hiding in plain sight, something that has turned the modern woman into a flight risk in her own home. The feminine escape plan. Contrary to what it is said, most divorces aren't happening because of abuse or infidelity or even finances. They're happening because women have been conditioned to exit marriage the moment they feel bored, unfulfilled, or unseen. Not because their marriage is bad, but because she has been trained to believe that her personal happiness should be the highest measure of success and it's his job to give it to her. I mean, if you want the post, I'll send it to you. I actually shared it on my Facebook, so go and check it out there. And I was just like, fuck. And that alone has been something that I have been journeying. She said it's not wisdom, it's programming. And she talks about that it's, this feminism kind of gone wrong. And I'm going to quote this wrong, and obviously this is part of my work, but, I want to tell you how strong and challenging. I teach women's self-expression, and a lot of people that I see in the women's empowerment space, you've got people like Abby Chatfield. Mate, don't get me fucking started on Abby Chatfield. And it's very interesting to me to see who the people are that are totally ripping down men. And mate, it's always funny to find the edges because part of what I'm leaning into is like, fuck, you can't not share your truth. But sometimes the truth upsets people. And it's not intentional to upset people, but it's going to happen. So my biggest work, especially in this relationship, going from maiden to mother, literally, it was like I met Logan, have never been in a partnership longer than 6 months before I met him, moved in together. 8 months later, we were pregnant. In the space of 5 years, I have gone through the biggest fucking initiations of every single part. Every single part of my independent boss bitch, boss babe was like, you're going to die here. You are going to die. And I tell you the amount of times that I have wanted to leave that man, mate. And reading that was just so confirming to me around, the same woman also talks about how obviously there's a loop playing, and this loop is that when what happens is then women start to raise boys, and women who have come from unhealthy dynamics and don't have self-awareness then are raising boys, which then are creating men who hate men. And they're seeing the example of their mother, who's like, you can't trust men. Men are bad. So these men, most men, a lot of men are little boys trapped in men's bodies. I see it all of the time. I see it. Oh, and it's wild because it's, generally like the most really insecure men become these gym junkies. And because they go, okay, well, how am I going to create masculinity? How am I going to create something? And they end up, and I can feel their hearts. I'm like, oh my gosh, these boys are just men looking for love. And looking for approval and looking for, like it's just wild to me. Can you hear my toddler trying to get at the door? We just keep fucking around here. And me teaching self-expression means that I will never, ever shame men. And the journeys that I have had to walk to stay in this relationship, to build something that's actually a legacy. I am Logan's life wife. I am his life partner. We have children together. No matter how our relationship continues to evolve, I will never, like, he is going to be in my life forever. Forever. We chose that. And we choose to be together. We choose to be in unity and harmony and expansion. And, my God, he has been from my own projections, he has been the source of my pain. But he has been the representation of the parts where I am not open in my heart, which is, due to my trauma, due to societal conditioning, due to, I became independent, boss babe, could make lots of money. Like everybody that I loved left me. So I became very strong, successful, wealthy. Like I didn't need a man. And then I called in a man who we had to face off so much of our freaking, and we're still facing off. I mean, our relationship has evolved. I mean, in the last year, especially, like because our souls initiated us into this huge portal of fucking pain where we had to meet so many parts. Like literally, my soul was like, I'm going to have you have no money so that you have to face off with, because you can't leave, you can't go anywhere. It's like you stay. When shit gets tough, you stay. You don't run. You do not run now. And oh man, there were so many times I wanted to run. I'm just going to be so freaking honest with you. And there's so many times I wanted to blame him. Blame him for everything that is not going good in my life. For not looking, all of the stories, anything. And the way that in which we judge our partners is the deep way in which we are judging ourselves. And I'm a stand for families staying together. And I know I did a post on that on Facebook and it gets so much fucking controversy. And look, obviously, there is a prerequisite to that, and of all things. So the prerequisite is you need two willing people who are open and willing to grow. But that post that I just read, it's like, how often do we give up? And she goes on to talk about how women are like, okay, well, I'm not getting all my needs met and my self-expression, and I'm not getting all this met, and blah, 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 blah. And like, how often do we walk away too soon? And then she leaves and she thinks she's going to find this perfect pot of rainbow gold out there, and then comes to this conclusion that, oh, maybe actually that was really good. And it's like, the grass isn't greener. The grass is greener where you fucking water it. And I know I called in the exact man that I needed, a man who loves me and accepts me unconditionally. That's the hardest part, is that I have the most amazing partner who is like, I love you, I see you, I've got you back always. There is literally nothing that I could do where he could run. I have bought him the fucking wildest shit. And he's like, okay, honey, I love you. I'm like, no, fight me back. That's what I'm looking for. My ego is looking for him to like fight back and give me the drama that I'm seeking. And I do seek drama, and it's actually part of my gene keys to seek drama in terms of interaction and play. And so we create that in our dynamic now. I'm just gonna hold on. My son is, and now I've totally lost my train of thought. Perfect. Anyway, I think to wrap this up in a whole, I'm a stand for women's expression. I'm a stand for women being in complete unity, devotion to their family. I'm a stand for building something that is a legacy. And to seeing and witnessing. Give me a Logan, did you wipe your bum? It's just a real talk that we do. And still a little bit of poo in your bum. God, if you're still here, I'm sorry. I'm a stand for us finding solutions. And it starts even before, I mean, I was talking to a single woman and I was like, when we choose partnership is really important. But when we choose partnership, thinking about the values of that man and him as a father, I don't think women really think about that or not to the depth. And now I'm like, wow, I chose the best father for my children, like beyond, but it's, I know it's possibly an absolute flop, but if you're still here, amazing. And maybe that's all I have to say. I can hear him. It's totally distracting me. But that is it for now on the sharing of, why I understand men and women staying together, why I believe that we should, really get to business and see what else is there for us in terms of our growth and relationships, because it is the deepest levels of growth we will ever move through. If you love this, please send me a message. Please subscribe to the YouTube as well so that you get all the notifications of all the videos coming up. That would be amazing.